Welcome back, I'm Dave from Chase the Summit, and today we're going to be taking a look at two heart rate sensors from a new brand, relatively new brand that I've heard of, called Powr Labs, and they're actually missing the E in Powr. I guess that's the trendy thing to do. Powr Labs reached out to me a couple of months ago and offered to send me out these two sensors to check out for the purpose of a video. This is not a sponsored video in any way. They just sent me these two sensors to test out, try them out, see what I think, and potentially film a review about them with no expectations. So in this video, we're going to be taking a look at the hardware. We're going to be taking a look at the accuracy coming out of both of these heart rate sensors and talk about why these are a great budget option if you're in the market for an external heart rate sensor for your watch or for your phone. Before we get into it, if you find this video helpful, fun, entertaining, please consider hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel down below so you don't miss more videos from me in the future. Also, if you're interested in picking up either of these sensors, I'll have links down in the description that do help support my channel, but cost nothing extra to you. Okay, let's move on. I've been waving these boxes around as if I'm gonna do an unboxing, but these boxes are actually empty because I've been wearing these sensors and testing them out for the purpose of this video. So these are gonna go behind me now, and we're gonna take the hardware out to talk about it. First, let's take a look at the Pulsr chest sensor because it's probably the easier one to talk about. If you're at all familiar with chest-based heart rate sensors, they're all basically the same, and that's really no different with the Powr Labs chest Pulsr sensor, but it does have one unique feature that we'll talk about later on in this video. Running through the specs though, you can see that the Powr Labs module pops right off the belt, and that's a nice feature to have because if you get a really grimy or gross belt, or you can actually break the chest belt, if that happens, you can just pop off the module and get a new band and continue running with the same module. It's really nice to know that you don't have to throw away the brains of the operation because that is the case with some of the other competition. The sensor to the Powr Labs Pulsr sensor is super light. This comes in at just 15 grams, including the battery, and you can barely tell it's on your chest when you're wearing it. The strap included with the Pulsr belt is very similar to all of the other competition. Basically, it's got this kind of clasp design where you wrap it around your chest and then you loop it through this loop here, and you're good to go, ready to go for your run. Very durable connection, doesn't fall off, doesn't slip around. And there are some bits of rubber on the inside of the band here that prevents it from slipping around too much on your chest when you're running. This chest band is actually dual band, so it does have Bluetooth connectivity and ANT+ connectivity for any device that supports it, which means you can also connect it to two devices at the same time. That's really nice if you go for a run at the gym, you want to record your heart rate data on your smartwatch, but you also want to transmit that heart rate data to your treadmill so you can see what's going on in real time. The Powr Labs Pulsr strap is ECG based, or electrocardiogram, so it's actually reading the electronic signals coming from your heart while it's pumping. So it's presumably very accurate. The Pulsr sensor is also IP67 rated, so you can run in the rain with it. You can run in very wet or sweaty conditions and not have to worry about the sensor actually breaking on you. And this sensor does run on your typical CR2023, I think it's called, coin cell battery. Powr Labs is actually offering 12 months of free battery replacement with the band because presumably this can get up to 6 months on a single battery without having to replace it. So they're offering to give you a free battery if it does run out, which is pretty nice of them. Okay, let's talk about accuracy of the Powr Labs Pulsr chest sensor. It's good. It's really good. Not really a surprise, but this is an ECG sensor, so it's on your chest, it's very close to your heart, and it's using a technology that yields pretty good results. As a whole, the Powr Labs chest-based heart rate sensor proved to be really accurate in all of my testing over several runs compared to other chest-based ECG sensors. So I'm not going to talk about accuracy of the Powr Labs Pulsr chest sensor for too long because it's kind of boring. It's good, you get the idea. You might be saying that this is just your standard everyday heart rate chest sensor, and I'd argue that you're kind of right. There's not a whole lot special here, but there is one thing about this. It's cheap. The Powr Labs Pulsr chest band is just $49, which is really cheap, and they're offering that free battery replacement over the first year, which is really impressive. Not only that, but it's actually on sale right now. I found it down to 42 bucks, and of course I'll have links down below if you're interested. So for around 40 bucks, you can get a pretty solid option in terms of a chest-based heart rate sensor. Let's move on to the other sensor because that's the exciting one. This is the Powr Labs armband. What you're seeing here is the contents of the box of the Powr Labs armband. So let's look at the sensor itself. can see here is the Powr Labs sensor. It is a tiny little device that is meant to be worn on your arm, on your upper bicep. You can see here, this is approximately where you'd want to wear this sensor to get good results. Unlike the other sensor that Powr Labs sent me, this is an optical heart rate sensor. So this is a lot like what you'd find on a sports watch, like this Garmin Enduro here. Underneath are some LEDs that light up when you turn it on. You can see them flashing there, and that's how it reads your heart rate. Looking at the sensor here on the outside, you've got a pretty low profile sensor. It's super thin, super light. This really has no weight to it at all. And right in the middle there is a single button to turn the device on and off. On the front of the device here, you can see there's a little flashing light that'll flash blue to let you know that it's on. It'll flash green to let you know that it's connected to a device, and it'll flash red to let you know that your battery is low and needs to be charged again. And just like the other sensor, this is dual band, so it does have ANT+ and Bluetooth connectivity. Again, you can pair this to a watch and your treadmill at the same time and send data to both devices simultaneously. The Powr Labs armband is waterproof to a depth of 5 feet. However, the company does say that they don't suggest swimming with it. Apparently it's not that waterproof, but it's good for, running in the rain, heavily sweating. All of those won't be an issue with the Powr Labs armband. Unlike the Pulsr chest sensor, this actually houses a rechargeable battery inside, and inside the box is included with a little recharging cradle here. So you pop the sensor right into the cradle. In the other end, you've got a USB Type A port here that you can plug into your computer or into a wall wart, charge the thing up, and you're ready to go for your run again. In terms of battery life, you get a whopping 60 hours of use out of a single charge on the Powr Labs armband, which is really impressive. And I don't know if that's true or not. I've used it several times and I haven't charged it since the first time. So far so good. And what's cool about the Powr Labs armband is they actually include 2 bands in the box. So you've got this really cool neon green one here, and I love this color, so I'm a big fan of this. But they also include this black one here, and this one actually feels to be a little bit less stretchy. It's a little bit stiffer, so it's a different material, but it's also a different color. So you can kind of test out which one works best on your arm. Let's talk about accuracy of the Powr Labs armband. So far, pretty good. I've been out on several runs wearing the Powr Labs armband while also wearing a Polar H9 chest strap. That's an ECG sensor, the best accuracy, and also optical sensor on my other arm, which is a very similar sensor to the Powr Labs armband. And what I found on several runs is that they're all pretty accurate, and the Powr Labs armband was delivering pretty accurate results. However, I did find a couple of tiny areas where it wasn't perfectly in line with the Polar H9 chest strap, but it was way better than any wrist-worn optical heart rate sensor that I've ever tested. So pretty good overall accuracy coming out of the Powr Labs armband. And again, the real standout feature of the Powr Labs armband, just like the chest sensor, is the price. This sensor comes in at just $79 retail, but it's actually on sale for $69.99 right now, which is a great deal for an arm-based optical heart rate sensor, because the competition is at $100, $120, so there's a lot of value packed into the Powr Labs armband. And it's delivering pretty good accuracy, so it's kind of a win-win. The only real downside to choosing a Powr Labs sensor over the competition is that they don't have a dedicated app for the Powr Labs sensors. There's no Powr Labs app that you can download and pair the sensors to in order to record your activities and also update the firmware down the road. That just doesn't exist with these Powr Labs sensors. However, that doesn't mean you can't use these sensors to record tracks on your smartphone. These are actually compatible with Polar Beat. I tested it and they work fine. They also work with Strava, which is a really widely used app on your phone for recording heart rate data and running. But honestly though, the only reason I'm showing these off on the channel is because the price is right. And you're getting a lot for your money here. They're rock solid sensors. They seem well built. They seem pretty accurate. They seem like the company actually cares about them. So yeah, I think the Powr Labs Pulsr chest sensor and the armband are worth looking into if you're in the market for an external heart rate sensor for your smartwatch or even your phone. But I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below if you've tried out Powr Labs before. What was your experience? Do you have another brand that might be even cheaper than these and delivers a solid product? Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to hear from you. And as usual, if you're interested in picking up either one of these sensors, I'll have links to them in the description of this video down below. And those do help support my channel, but they don't cost anything extra to you. If you enjoyed this video, you found it helpful, maybe give me a thumbs up and subscribe down below because it really helps me out. And that's it. I'll see you next time. Bye.